How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stick mobility class. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today. So for today's class, we're actually only going to need one long stick. This whole class is going to be done with one single stick here. You'll notice I do have a kettlebell behind me. That kettlebell is actually going to be used for a balancing drill. It's actually going to seem really simple, but it's actually going to be harder than it looks. And so we're going to be passing that kettlebell back and forth while standing on one leg. So it's going to challenge that foot and ankle stability there. We're going to get into working with the lateral line. So we're going to get into working with a core drill, all right? And then we're also going to get into working with a single leg drill where we're actually doing an RDL and creating tension going into that. So again, still working with those lateral lines to try to focus on strengthening them up. So we're going to go through a full body warm up, and then we're going to go do a cool down, all right? So let's go ahead and get started with the warm up here. I'm going to start the feet and ankles first, since we are going to be getting into a single leg RDL. So I'm going to have the stick angled, so in line with my center line, angled in towards me. I want to take a wider than shoulder width stance with my toes pointed forward. So I want to take a horse stance here. Knees bent. I want to keep my pelvis stacked under my spine here. And then from here, I'm going to bring both heels up, nice and high, all right, without the torso moving up or down. Bring the heels back down, touch the floor, bring them back up. All 5 toes should be in contact with the floor here. We're not driving the stick into the ground, just using it for balance. Back down, then up. Good. Keep everything nice and controlled. Down. Excellent. Up. Good. Down. Let's go one more time, folks. Up. And down, nice and slow, and ease off. So since we are going to be doing a balance drill, we're going to work with lateral shifting of the feet here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to that stance slightly wider than shoulder width. So I actually brought my stance in just a little bit. Stick is still in front at the same spot here. I'm going to bring my right heel up, nice and high, and I'm going to shift my heel inwards towards my center line, and then shift out away from that center line. Then in, out. Good, you'll be on that pinky toe here. In, you're on that big toe. Out, on that pinky toe. In, out. Back to center, then down. We're gonna switch sides. So left heel up, nice and high. Shift in. Good, shift out, in, and out, in, out. One more time, in, and out. Back to center, down nice and slow, and ease off. Excellent. And so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take the stick, we're gonna keep it in front. It's gonna be kind of similar to RDL. What we're gonna do hip airplanes here. And so the focus is we're going to make sure we can use the stick as a balancing point, but we're opening up and closing the hips. And so I'm gonna start with my right foot down. I'll actually move a little closer to the camera here. I'm gonna start my right foot down. You can, I typically want you to have one hand on the stick here. I have the stick about roughly 1.5 feet away from the line of my right foot here. I'm gonna hover that left foot off the floor. Right foot is down. I want to make sure that foot is nice and planted. Then I'm going to go into a single leg hinge here. Okay. So you still need to maintain balance on that right leg. Now from here, I'm going to open my left hip up, and I want to keep my right knee stacked over the midfoot. And then I'm going to drop that hip down and in. Try to maintain that control as much as you can. Then open up. Then in, almost like you're closing a book. Up, then close. Good, come back up, and ease off. Excellent. We're gonna switch sides here, so I'm actually gonna turn forward for this one. So we're gonna set that same way, sticks in the opposite hand. Left foot is placed down. We're gonna hover the right foot. I'm going to hinge. You don't need to get much of a hinge, just a bit. Now from here, do that same thing. I'm gonna open my right hip up and then down, close that hip, open up, then in, close the hip, good, open up, and close the hip down, good, and ease off, excellent. It's a really good way to kind of work on that stability there. We're gonna take the stick and place it behind our upper back. So now we're gonna go into the RDL, where we're just gonna use this as a way, again, to kind of warm up here. And so what we wanna focus on is make sure the foot is nice and grounded, everything stays nice and stacked. So my hands, I'm actually not gripping the sticks here. My hands are just on the back of the sticks. Sticks on my upper back like so. I wanna make sure I maintain pelvic and rib cage integrity. So ribs down, pelvis in a bit. I'm gonna hover that left foot off the floor. I'm gonna go into a hinge. Good, back up. Place that left foot down, switch sides, left foot down, hinge. Back up. We're not holding for long. We're just going back and forth here. Hinge. Back up. Good. Left foot down, right foot up. Hinge. Drive that right foot back. Up. That's 2. Right foot. Up. Good. 3. Left foot down. Up. Good. Let's go 2 more each way. Hinge. Up. 4. Up. Last one. Hinge. Up. Last one on the left side. And up. And relax. Good. So go through a really quick warm up there. Now we're going to work with rotations. And so I'm going to use the squat rack. This is going to be the corner of a wall for me here. And so I'm going to have about roughly hip to shoulder width stance, whatever allows you to keep your hips staying squared. So typically a little about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider tends to be best. Toes pointed forward, squeeze those glutes. Now from here, I want the stick to be in line with my standard line here, pressing into the wall. Now from this position, I do want to create a little bit of tension by driving the stick down. You're going to feel the core tissues turn on. And now from here, I'm going to rotate the stick over to my left side. I want my shoulders to rotate, but I'm going to keep my head pointed forward. Same direction as my hips. Then back up to center and then rotate over to the other side. Your head doesn't move. You don't want your head to rotate. Just get in at shoulders and a T-spine. Back to center, other side. Breathe. Back to center, other side. Back to center, other side. Doing good. Breathe. Want to try to get as much rotation as you can here. Let's go one more each side. Good. Back to center and ease off. Excellent. And now I just want to kind of work on stretching out the chest and the shoulders here. So with a single stick, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to have my feet at roughly about hip width. And I'm going to have the bottom of the stick in line with my toes here. My right hand's going to be at about face height, somewhere around there. And what I'm going to do from here, have my arms straight out, lightly drive that stick down, and I'm going to hinge back. And I actually want to get a hang in that right hand. All right. So this allows the chest to open up. The stick is in line with my rib cage here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to internally rotate my hand. So I'm going to rotate my thumb back behind me more. Now as I do that, I'm going to feel a shift. Now it's gonna come more towards that anterior delt and the bicep. Then I'm gonna externally rotate, slowly come back up and ease off. Let's go and switch sides here. So hands at the same height, lightly drive that stick down, gonna hinge, get a hang. It should actually feel like you're legitimately hanging here, folks. Breathe, good. Internally rotate. Keep it in line with the rib cage. Good, externally rotate. Up nice and slow. Ease off, let's switch sides. I'm gonna turn to the side here. Hands at that same height. Six on my right side now. I'm gonna hinge back. Get a hang. Good, internally rotate. Externally rotate. Good. Up nice and slow. And ease off. We're gonna switch sides here. So if your chest is tight, your shoulders tight, biceps are tight, this is a really, really good way to kind of open all that up. Same thing, lightly draw the stick down, hinge, get a hang going, good. Internally rotate. Good, externally rotate. Up and ease off. Excellent, perfect. Now we're gonna do here, we're just gonna go with some hip abductions. And so I wanna actually do this as a form of repetitions. We're gonna push against the stick for 2 seconds at a time. We're gonna keep it at 50% here. The thing is, the stick's actually gonna start out pretty far. And so from here, I'm gonna have my feet together. I want my feet to be facing forward. Bottom of the stick is in line with my midfoot here. Notice how far it is out, right? It's about roughly 2 feet. So we want to start out with a good challenge. Again, we're only pushing for about 2 seconds. Have that arm straight at shoulder height. I want to stay up nice and tall. Drive that stick down 50%. Hover that right foot. Now from here, keeping that left leg straight without moving the body, bring that right foot to the stick. Push. 1, 2, back in. Keep it off the floor. Go out again, push, 1, 2, good, in, out again, push, 1, 2, that's 3, push, 1, 2, 4, out, push, 1, 2, 5, we got 5 more, good, push, 1, 2, 6, out, push with the outside, good, back in, 7, out, push, 1, 2, 8, again, push, 1, 2, 9, last one, push against the stick, 1, 2, and 10. Ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. It's a really good way to warm up that lateral glute, those lateral glute muscles here. So we're gonna come to the left side, line up the same, do the same thing here. Drive that stick down. Remember, don't lean. You want to stay up nice and tall, as if somebody basically took the stick from you, you should be staying up right. From here, hover that left foot, make sure you're driving that stick down 50%. 1, 2, good. Out. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 5. Good, keep going. 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 8, 2 more. 1, 2, 9, last one. 1, 2, good, ease off. All right, now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. We're gonna get into the strength training aspects. So for here, we're gonna focus on making sure we're still getting those lateral lines active. Right, so what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna get into the single leg RDL drill where we're actually driving down or creating some rotational tension. So I have the bench here for that. If you have a box or something that has a pretty good height, for you to kind of drive the stick into. It's gonna be perfect here. Now, I'm gonna have the stick going out to my left, so I'm gonna have my right foot planted. Now from here, I wanna have both arms straight. As I actually go into that hinge, I do wanna create tension by driving down with the inside hand and pulling up with the outside hand. So from here, I'm gonna have my feet together, and I'll make sure I'm in a good alignment. I'm gonna hover that left foot off the floor. From here, I'm going to go into a RDL, single leg RDL here. Once I get to a good position, I'm gonna create tension now. So from here, I wanna drive that other end of the stick towards the floor, almost like I'm trying to break the bench here. You wanna try to create that tension without leaning. About 50%. Good, ease off, keep balance, and then come up. Place that left foot down. Good. So let's go 4 more repetitions here. So I do want you to make sure that you're maintaining balance even after you let go of tension. All right, let's go again. So hover that left foot, right foot is grounded, hinge. Once you get to a good position, create that tension, 50%. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Ease off that tension. Good, come up, stay nice and balanced. Ease off, nice. Let's go 3 more here, folks. Let's up that tension to 70%. Hover that left foot, hinge. Good, create that tension. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good, come up. Foot down. Let's go 2 more here. Rotate that stick a bit so it's not all bending in one way. Over that left foot, hinge. Create that tension. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off. Come up. Place that left foot down. Let's go 1 more time, folks. Doing good, doing good. Over that left foot, hinge, push, 3, 2, 1, ease off, come up, and relax. Excellent. Now we're gonna switch sides. So the reason why I want you to focus on keeping that balance is because we wanna keep that integrity in the foot and ankle, right? So we're challenging that part or those systems. So even as we're releasing tension, that's where people tend to lose balance. So I want you to kind of focus on that. So left foot's gonna be down. You're gonna hover that right foot. Good, hinge. 50%, push. Breathe, 3, 2, 1. Ease off, come up, place that right foot down. Take a second, we got 4 more. Hover the right foot, hinge. Create tension, 50%. 3, 2, 1. Ease off, come up, place the foot down. Now we're gonna go to 70%. Remember to rotate that stick, folks. Over the right foot, hinge, 70%. There you go. Push down with that right hand, pull up with that left hand. Good, ease off, up. Good, place the foot down. We got 2 more. Still 70% here. Over the right foot, hinge, create tension. 3, 2, 1, ease off, back up, relax. Last one here. Hover, hinge, good. Create that tension. Find that balance. 3, 2, 1, ease off, come up, and relax. Excellent, good. So, you should be feeling there. You're gonna feel those obliques kick in, you're gonna feel those lats kick in, you're gonna feel those rotational tissues kick in. So, if you have trouble with balancing in certain aspects when it comes to RDLs, it's a really good way to work on that. So now we're gonna go to that single leg balance drill that I did tell you was actually looked easier than it actually is. So for this drill, we're gonna be passing the kettlebell back and forth. We're gonna be on one foot. The thing is, you're going to feel a weight shift, and you should. So we're gonna do 10 passes back and forth, so 20 passes in total per foot. So as we do this, take your time, do not get frustrated. If you need to bring that foot down to help out with the balance, then don't be afraid to do so, but you wanna try to stay on one leg here. So I'm gonna have my right leg down, left leg is in front, kettlebell's in my right hand, and I'm gonna pass to my left hand, come out to the side, good, pass to the right, out to the side, that's 1, pass, whoop, find that balance point, good, pass, that's 2, pass again, pass, that's 3, excellent, pass, pass, it's 4, don't cheat it, right, pass, good, pass, 5, let's go 5 more, pass, pass, 6, you're gonna feel that glute working pretty hard here, pass, good, pass, 7, pass, pass, it's 8, 2 more, pass, good, pass, 9, last one, find that balance, pass, good, and pass, 10, left foot down, take a second, and shake it off. To be fair, I am using an 8-kilogram kettlebell, so it is light, but it is still challenging. So if you have instability, if your ankles are a problem, especially when it comes to like your squatting or deadlifting, or your lunging or single leg work, this is a really good drill to add in to really get a feel for where you're weak at, but also at the same time, work on those tissues that are actually lacking, particularly in the ankle. So we're gonna go with the left foot now. So kettlebell is in the left hand. So on the left foot, right foot is gonna be out in front. I'm gonna pass to my right hand, good. Pass to the left. It's 1, make sure you're breathing. Pass, good, pass. It's 2, pass, pass. 3, pass, excellent, pass. 4, one side's gonna feel a little easier than another sometimes, pass, pass, that's 5, halfway there, pass, good, pass, 6, we got 4 more here folks, pass, good, pass, make sure you get balanced. A 7, we got 3 more, pass, good, pass, whoa, 8, balance out, pass, good, pass, 9, last one, pass, and pass, 10, excellent, good. So, like I mentioned, looks easy, seems easy, maybe not so easy. So something good for you to practice with. You can start off with something super light and then work up to heavier loads, although working with a load that's actually not too heavy is still going to be highly beneficial. And so now I do want to get into the core drill. And so for this, we are going to go into a single leg, or some more of a split squat stance. And what I want to do here is I actually want to push towards my leg that's forward. So the stick is going out to my right. I'm going to have my right leg forward, or my inside leg forward here, and my left leg's going to be back. However, it's going to be a little different with this. I'm not going to have that big of a split. So typically, a relatively big split. So we're down here, everything's kind of lined up. Instead, I'm going to bring that back foot forward a little bit more. So I'm shifted on that front leg a bit more here. So from here, inside leg is going to be forward. I'm going to have my left foot back. Again, not in too big of a split, a smaller split than usual. And what I'm going to do, I want to have the stick roughly about mid-thigh here. Then I'm going to go down. Most of my weight is in that front leg here. Arms are at 90 degrees. And I'm going to push the stick into the rack. Should be feeling those obliques working, those right obliques working. Feeling that right glute working as well. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. So, quads, glutes, obliques, all that's going to be working here. We're looking to create tension without pushing ourselves over, because this is actually the harder one to go with. So I'm going to go back down to that same position, cover that back knee, elbows at 90 degrees, and push. Push with both hands. Try to maintain that balance. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. We're going to go one more time here, folks, and then we're going to switch sides. So knee down, so back knee down. Good, and create tension, push. I only want you to create enough tension to challenge yourself, not push yourself over. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Whew, good. Quads are gonna feel pretty burnt there, pretty torched. So now we're gonna switch sides. We're gonna do that same thing. So you're actually gonna kind of see what this looks like from the back. As we do this, again, I wanna make sure we maintain good pelvic and rib cage alignment. So I'm actually gonna step forward on this one. So right foot's gonna be back. Again, we're not in that big of a split. Drop that back knee down from here and push. Good. 3, 2, 1, good. Up and ease off. We got 2 more here, folks. Drop that back knee down, push. Make sure you're driving with both hands. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. One last time, folks. I know your legs are getting tired. Let's finish this out strong. Down, good, and push. 3, 2, 1, up, ease off, and relax. Excellent, good. So now let's go and get into that deep fascial stretching. We're still gonna focus on those lateral lines, people. Let's not forget about those. So we're gonna get into a half kneeling hang. So this is where we have a pad or something for us to kneel on if you actually happen to have one available. Now typically for this, you can use a corner of a wall if you want something super stable to press into. However, I'm gonna go with not using a wall here. My right knee is gonna be down, left leg's gonna be forward. Now, my back leg, I want it in line with the hip, my foot in line with my right hip here. Now, the stick is angled out pretty far from the outside of my hips here. This allows me to drop my hip in towards the bottom of the stick. And so, the bottom of the stick is in line with the left heel, or heel on my front leg here. So I'm gonna have my right hand up top, and then I'm gonna place my left hand on the stick here, and I'm gonna drop my right hip down towards the bottom of the stick. Gonna get a stretch in that hip, lateral lines, rib cage, lat area. Slowly come out. Excellent. We're gonna do that again. And up. Keep that left hand on the stick for added support. Drop that hip down towards the bottom of the stick. Good, ease off. Let's go one more time, folks. Rotate that stick a little bit, just in case. Left hand's on the stick. Drop that right hip down towards the bottom. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. I'm actually going to turn to the side now, so you can also see what it looks like when I do drop my hip down towards the bottom of the stick. So I'm gonna have my left hand up, nice and high. Right hand's gonna be on the stick. Again, taking this hip point, this point of the hip, driving it down towards the bottom of the stick here. So top of my foot is into the floor. I'm gonna slowly sink that left hip in and down towards the bottom of the stick here. Breathe. Slowly come out. Excellent. Let's go into it again. Keep that hand nice and high. Breathe. Ease off. Excellent. Rotate the stick a little bit. All right, so it's not all going in one way. Same thing. Drive the hip down. Three, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent, good. We're actually gonna stay in a kneeling position. We're actually gonna go from a tall kneeling position to a seated kneeling position. We're going to use the rack or a corner of a wall, something stable for you to kind of drive the stick into as a way to really try to open up that T-spine here. And so I'm gonna turn this to the side here so I can get my knees out a little wider. Now, what we're going for here is keeping the hands in an overhead position. So from this position here, I have my hands stacked over one another, right? And I have my ankles dorsiflexed, driving my big toes into the floor, just holding that tension there. Now from this position here, I only want to lightly drive the stick down, roughly about 10%, and I want to drive my rib cage down here. Now from this position, keep my arms straight. I'm gonna sit my hips back. Keep my arms in the overhead position. Then come back up. We're gonna repeat that. Drive the hips back. Arms up. Good. Let's go one more time. Drive those hips back. Up. Ease off. Take a second. We're actually going to switch hands because that does make a difference. So you might feel one side kind of get a little more of a stretch than the other, depending on your hand placement, because they're actually not even. So we're going to switch hands here. We're going to go through those same cues. Feet are into the floor. We're not driving the feet down, but we're just keeping them there for stability. Hands are stretched out. Nice overhead position. Drive the stick down really lightly, 10%. Sink those hips back. Back up. Good. Sink the hips back. Good. Back up. One more time. Hips back. Back up. And ease off. Okay. So now we're going to take that same drill. We're now going to add in some rotation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my left hand at the end here, because I'm going to start by rotating to my left. And what I'm going to do with this right hand is I'm going to reach towards the bottom of the stick as I sit my hips back here. right? So I'm gonna adjust my position and make it a little bit closer. So the right hand's gonna guide down the stick. So left hand at the end of the stick here, up nice and high, tall kneeling position. I'm actually going to bring the top of my feet into the floor here. So I'm extending those ankles. What I'm going to do from this position, arms straight, I'm going to sink my hips down just a little bit. As I do that, I'm going to place my right hand on the stick, guide it down towards the bottom. And now I'm going to get some rotation here. Sitting my hips back. And then as I come up, I'm going to slide that right hand up the stick. Good. I'm going to repeat that again. So from here, sit back. Reach that right hand down towards the bottom of the stick, thumb facing down towards the bottom. Come back up. And ease off. Now we're going to switch sides. Sticks in line with the center line here. Okay. We're going to do that same thing, folks. Right hand's up nice and high. Going to slowly start to sit back. Reach that left hand down. Thumb facing down towards the bottom. Sink back. You're gonna feel that T-spine open up. Slowly come up. Good. We're gonna go one more time. Here. Good. Sit the hips back. Guide that left hand towards the bottom. Come back up. And ease off. Excellent. Good. So now I don't need a flat anymore, at least not for now. So we're going to get into a couple of different bow and arrow variations here. Now, we're going to look at foot and leg position in order to change or lengthen those lines. So I'm going to start with a squared stance here. Then I'm going to cross my feet. And after that, I'm actually going to go to a split stance. So it's going to be actually 3 different variations of the bow and arrow. So I'll start with my hips, or my feet at hip width, facing forward, bottom of the stick. I'm going to have it close to the outside of my foot here. I want to create tension and get a really, really good stretch here. So I'm going to have my left hand at about roughly waist height. Take my right hand, reach up over the top, thumb facing down. Remember, we got to drive those hips away. So we want to lengthen that side first, or we're going to get a little bit of a stretch. Extend those hands out. Slowly ease off. Excellent. Rotate that stick a bit. Let's do that again. From here, drive the hips out. Extend those hands out. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. Let's go and switch sides. So right hand's about waist height. Left hand up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Drive the hips away. Extend the hands out. Ease off. Excellent, good. Rotate that stick a bit. Let's do that again. Left hand over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Hips away, extend those hands out. Excellent, ease off. Good. Now we're gonna switch back over to the other side. So I'm gonna go with crossing my feet. So since the stick's on my left side, I'm gonna cross my right foot behind my left here. Now this is gonna kind of trap it, and that's what I'm looking for. Left foot's gonna be planted, my right foot is gonna be planted as well, but it's on the inside. So as I bump that hip out, I'm gonna get an even bigger stretch on those hips. So the bottom of the stick is in line with my right foot here. Left hand is roughly about waist height, and the bottom of the stick is about a foot away. Now from here, reach up over the top, same thing, drive the hips away, then extend those hands out. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. So now, cross that left foot behind the right. Good. So you trap the foot. Stick is about a foot from the outside, or sorry, a foot away from the left foot here. Lined up with the arch. Take the left hand up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Draw the hips away first, then extend those hands out. Good, ease off, nice and slow. Excellent. Now we're gonna go to a split stance. And so for this one, I actually kind of do on a little bit of a lean back here. So we're gonna get the hip or the anterior tissues as well. So I'm gonna have my left foot forward, my right leg's gonna be back, and I wanna create a pretty big split. Now, the stick is just about right behind my hips, all right? So if you think of a line where your hips are, I want the stick right behind it, the bottom of the stick right behind it. I'm gonna have my left hand roughly about where my hips are, waist side. Now from here, I wanna load that front leg a little bit. I'm gonna take my right hand, reach up over the top, thumb facing down. Now again, we're gonna get a little bit of a stretch in that right hip. Squeeze that right glute, it's the first part. Now you're gonna extend those hands out. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent, that's an intense one. All right, now we're gonna switch over to the other side. So right leg is forward, left leg is back. You wanna create a pretty good split here. As usual though, don't go too big of a split. You wanna be able to maintain balance here. So from this position here, sticks up in the same way. Left hand comes up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Squeeze that left glute. Get that stretch in the anterior part of the hip. Extend those hands out. 3, 2, 1. Ease off, nice and slow, and relax. And that, my friends, concludes today's Sick Mobility class. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Just want to have a little bit more of a calmer class, nothing too intense, but I'll be sure to catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe and have a good one out there.